Haaretz finally decided to reveal a little bit of truth of their own, and they did so by blatantly plagiarizing this exact post that I just read off. And the woman who did so, Rachel Fink, I recognize the name because she was also the one who wrote a hit piece about me personally just 6 months ago.
So
So
Haaretz says Rachel Fink has blatantly plagiarized the Grayzone's Wyatt Reed after smearing him as a de facto Iranian agent, libeling him about 6 months ago. I want to bring in Anya in like 3 minutes. So just explain to us what happened here, Wyatt.
well, you can pull up this tweet that I published yesterday. It'll kind of explain it, but I put a side by side comparison here. At the bottom of that post, you can see the version that I wrote, and the next photo shows the version that Haaretz wrote. Everything in red is words that were taken word for word from my post. And
That's a lot of red.
that's a lot of red.
You're in the red zone.
And to be fair, many of them are just quotations, but they're all in the exact same order. They used plenty of language outside of the actual quotations themselves, which they barely edited, if at all. Um, you know, the in the updated version, that's a sentence. That is a clause that I had in my very first sentence that they stole. And then towards the end, really the last paragraph, if you kind of go before and after, that's the one that really gave away the game to me. If you click back to my tweet, I'll we'll just compare the last paragraph that I wrote to the last paragraph in the Haaretz version here. So I'll read out. In addition, a full 58 seconds of pro-Israel advocacy has been injected into the piece. This includes a statement by the Dutch Prime Minister falsely claiming that the mayhem was simply anti-Semitic violence, and testimony by one of the Israeli hooligans themselves who compares the violence to October 7th. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what Haaretz wrote. The newer version is also 58 seconds longer and now includes a statement by the Dutch Prime Minister, Dick Schoof, denouncing the mayhem as simply anti-Semitic violence, as well as an account they switched out and testimony for, as well as an account by one of the Israeli fans. They switched out hooligans for fans, who compares the violence to Hamas's October 7th attack in Israel. So they just gave it just a little twist, a little Zionist twist, and then basically kept in the entire paragraph as is. Not they changed less than 50% of the language, even included specific words like mayhem. That the odds of I think this is an important point to note. The odds of using words like that in very specific sentences that somebody would use, um, you know, uh, and she used the phrase removed entirely about the same specific quote that I did. The odds that somebody uses these exact same words in the exact same places as somebody else are astronomical. And I think this is worth noting because now there's a proposed somebody proposed a community note on this that tried to point out that actually most of these similarities are just because they're using the same quotes. No, it's not that. First of all, it's the order. Everything is unchanged in terms of the order of the quotes mentioned. And then it's those specific words that were left in that very clearly demonstrate that she just copy and pasted this, threw it into her Google Doc draft, and then tweaked a couple words here and there to make it seem like she wasn't stealing my homework, right? So, it's obvious to anybody who's worked around media what happened here. And instead of coming clean or apologizing, Rachel Fink did exactly what you would expect of a woman of her name and stature, and instead just locked down her account, totally avoiding any accountability.
She's still
Uh, Her profile's protected. You can't talk to her. You can't ask her what she's
And
thinking.
there's no accountability from Haaretz, which is just supposed to be the greatest Israeli newspaper, but which has smeared us so many times, every time for getting it right. Every time they smear us, we showed it's because we were correct, like about the Hannibal Directive. And then they acknowledge it 6 or 7 months later. Rachel Fink basically copied and pasted the Washington Post smear of you, painting you as a de facto Iranian agent because freelance production work, a smattering of freelance production work 5 years ago for Press TV makes you an Iranian agent. I mean, it was the sleaziest article, and it was all about advancing Israeli intelligence propaganda to try to smear the Grayzone because we're having so much impact against all their lies.
They accused you of putting on a master class in manipulation. They called us conspiracy theorists over and over and over again. They insist that we are just these crazy fringe lunatics, and yet, lo and behold, they're still coming to us to do their work for them.
Yep. And so we want to, if you're not going to punish Rachel Fink for her obvious plagiarism, at least allow Wyatt to invoice you for the article that she stole. And as Wyatt asked at the end,
I'll take a byline too, by the way,
and a byline. But as Wyatt asked, is there anything Israelis won't steal?